Welcome to the 6th Annual Indian Film Festival of Cincinnati and our second virtual edition. This year's festival carries 60 independent films made both in 2020 and 2021, including features, shorts, and documentary categories. The film covers over 15 languages, including English, and all of our films are subtitled in English. This year, we are also proud to showcase almost 20 women directors within the festival. With us today is director Sujata Day to discuss her debut feature, Definition Please, presented as our opening film for the 2021 festival. Sujata is a director, producer, and actor known for a long list of projects, such as HBO's Insecure, Sublime, and Cowboy and Indian, to name a few. Welcome, Sujata, and thank you for being with us here today.
Thanks for having me.
And also here to kick off our opening night interviews is our very own executive director and founder of the Indian Film Festival Cincinnati, Dr. Rati Apana.
Thank you, Monica. And hello, Sujata. It's lovely to be here with both of you. So, Sujata, what a beautiful film. Just amazing. I mean, we were really enthralled with your film. Thank you for making this beautiful film. It was like a slice of life, you know, that many families, immigrant families, Indian immigrant families experience at least parts of it. And what I really liked about it was that it had so many different components to it. You know, you really painted a picture of life here as an Indian immigrant. You know, we had a bit of song, a bit of dance, a bit of drama, and, you know, and the sibling relationships, the relationships with your friends, and of course, the struggle between being too Indian or being too Western. You know, all those dichotomies, it was really a lot of fun. And I'm sure you get this question a lot. You know, what inspired you to do the film and so on. But my question really is, was this a reflection of something you read, someone you know? How did you pick out these characters?
It was definitely a reflection of, you know, how I grew up and people around me. The seed of the inspiration was I was in my 4th grade spelling bee and I won in my class, and then I went to regionals and I lost in the first round on the word radish. And so I came home and I was pretty devastated, and I've obviously remembered that moment for a very long time. So when I was in my UCB sketch writing class in 2015, we had to write sketches, and I wrote a sketch based on that experience. And then the feature film was pretty much based on that sketch, which was basically, what if a former spelling bee winner grew up to not amount to much, to not live up to her potential, and she's still living at home and she's taking care of her mom. And that's where the premise came from. But I also grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, right outside in the suburbs. And we had a very thriving Indian American community there because there are 3 temples right there. And so I really took bits and pieces from what was happening around me. And I noticed that there would be kind of mental illness here and there. So a friend of mine ran away from home, and parents were wondering why they ran away. And, you know, they were doing well in school and they have a roof over their head, and it was mostly, you know, he was really stressed out, and we didn't know how to express our emotions verbally, and nobody was really talking about therapy or anything. So I just noticed throughout my childhood, and then even in college, I noticed that a lot of my Asian American friends and family members would be put on under a lot of pressure, and which would lead to breakdowns or depression or paranoia and all of that stuff. So I definitely took from my personal life, but it's not based on anything autobiographical.
Yeah. No, it was actually very fascinating to have a look at this film, because it did mirror a lot of what goes on in the community as well. And as first generation Americans, do you think that they feel they're living a contradiction?
I don't feel the Indian American kids that I grew up with, we never had a conflict between worlds. We never had a am I too Indian, am I too American, which is not in the film. Actually, that's not one of the themes. And I very consciously made that not one of the themes, because I feel like that's a stereotype that Hollywood seems to gravitate towards in terms of stories about us. And when I grew up, I like to say that we had the best of both worlds. So I would be, eating my mom's delicious Bengali food at home and speaking fluent Bengali, and going to Bharatanatyam classes on Sundays and going to Hindu temple camp in the summertime. And then I would also be at school with my American friends and be a cheerleader and dance and go to dances and do all the things that kids in America do, go to football games. So I really wanted that to be front and center, that the conflict is not about us being too American or too Indian. We're comfortable with that now, and me and a lot of my friends are extremely comfortable with it. So then when we see media kind of pushing back on that narrative, it's very strange.
It is indeed. And I'm so glad you brought that out, because, and your film is all about it. But hearing you say that, I think is so important, because you did blow the traditional stereotype that we see in Hollywood, at least, of the Indian American. I enjoyed some very tender moments in that film, I think. Tell me a little about the mother in the film. And there was one point when she comes up and she asks you for a joint, and and then she says, "Oh, my friends did this," or something to that effect, right? Tell me about that.
Yeah, once again, I wanted to subvert the stereotype. What I see a lot in TV and film is the very controlling parents who want their kids to be doctors and engineers and lawyers, and are very strict. And that's not what me and a lot of my friends grew up with. We had very open parents and families, and so that was something I wanted to see, and I was hungry to see on screen. So that was part of why I wrote the mother character like that. And part of that story is when Anna Kaja, who plays Jaya, read the script, she said yes pretty much right away, because she said she had never read anything like that in her time as an actress in Hollywood. So she was really excited to play a character that had so much fun and clearly loved her kids and had a really nice emotional arc throughout the film. And so that was a really nice thing that happened, where she complimented the character in the writing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was that was something that I really loved about the film, and I feel everyone should watch this. Not just Indian community, but everyone across the U.S. should watch this film. I mean, it's just superbly written and so well made, and I like that you touched upon all the different characteristics of an immigrant's home. You're talking about praying to God, or the child and mother relationship, and the sibling relationship. You really did a very good job with that. Now, do you play the harmonium, or were you sort of pretending?
I do not play the harmonium. My grandma gave that to me, and I tried to learn. I played the piano growing up, so I could do chords, but not
Not
what?
the
Not the harmonium. So I can kind of pluck stuff out, but it is a very fun instrument to play and learn and sing along to. So I definitely wanted to include that in the film.
So what were some of the aha moments for you as you were directing this? Because you wrote the play, you directed the play, and you acted in the play. And that's a lot to do. And this was your debut feature film as well.
Yeah, there were so many great moments. Once I set my mind to making the film, that was early 2019. I decided I wanted to shoot it in summer of 2019. No matter how much money I raised or anything, I was just gonna go do it. And what I found was that so many amazing people came together to make it happen, and it's really all about who you surround yourself with in terms of your crew and in terms of your cast. And I had really great producers and DP and composer, and it just my friends or the cast members. So it all went actually really smoothly, better than I could have imagined. And then even post-production was really fun. I got to do sound design at Skywalker Ranch in San Francisco, and I sat in George Lucas's seat while watching the final sound design of my film. So there are moments that I'll always remember from the making of the film, and I don't regret any of it. I'm just so excited that it's finally getting out there to audiences.
Absolutely, absolutely. Monica's character was so interesting. She was totally unapologetic for anything, right? But at the same time, explain to the audience what you were thinking in terms of developing her character, with her brother. What exactly did you want to bring out?
Yeah, I wanted her to see, in the beginning of the film, you don't really necessarily like her because you think, why is she being so mean to her brother? Why is, she's not perfect. She has flaws, and you slowly find out what the reasons are, and maybe you come to be on her side or not on her side. But my whole thing with every single one of the characters was that I wanted them to feel real, and that you maybe know them or know a characteristic of them and someone that you are friends with or family members. And the dynamic with her brother was really important to me because I love sibling films, and I feel like there's not a lot of them out there. And this was very much inspired by independent films like Skeleton Twins and The Savages and You Can Count on Me. And every time I watch one of those movies, I just really love when the crux of the film is not necessarily a romantic love, but a familial kind of love. So I thought that was really important for me to portray in a realistic manner. And I was really lucky to have Ritesh Rajan come on board as Sunny, because he just brought it to every single scene. And even when we were having rehearsals in my apartment before we left to go shoot the film in Greensburg, he just came over and I was like, oh yeah, we're just gonna read through the scenes. It's no pressure. And he was like crying on my couch, and I was like, oh, I gotta really get up to his level acting wise. I did not think that he was gonna bring this today. So that really forced me to be a better actress as well.
Oh wow! I mean, that sounds fantastic. Actually, he did. He brought it to every scene, and he was very, very powerful. I also love the way you set the mood with the lighting in the film. Um, Tell us a bit about that, because it to me it set the mood. But what were you thinking, and what did you want to get?
Yeah, once again, we wanted to play. I wanted the whole movie, like you said, to feel like a slice of life. So I didn't want it, there are scenes that are darker and then they contrast up against the morning, or the scenes that are light. And so I wanted, the treehouse scenes to feel really cozy because it was a smaller space. And a safe space for Monica to kind of retreat to from her problems. And you could tell that she escaped there whenever she was feeling too much pressure. And so lighting was a big part of the film, and it reflected most of the time the moods that the characters were in.
Mhm. And and besides filial love, there was also this, your friend and the camaraderie between your friends. So in a sense, I think the movie was really like a slice of life, because there were so many things in there that we do in our normal lives, right? Relationship with your parents, with your siblings, with your friends, something happening at school. It was really extremely well done. Um, what is on your mind now from here? What's next?
Yeah, I wrote a bunch of scripts during the pandemic, so I'm out pitching those right now, and I hope to get into production fairly soon on any one of those projects. I'm also pitching shows, and it's been really fun just being creative and getting my work back out there.
That's wonderful. So we hope to see more films coming from you soon.
Yeah, for sure. They'll be coming.
So Sujata, lovely talking to you. I want you to just think back and on the film and the people that you acted with, Ritesh and Anna, and I think of a moment that really made you laugh or that was really funny on set.
I think we really loved the talent show portion of making the film. It was really fun. It was all scripted, so none of that was improvised. And I think we did like 3 or 4 just full takes of it, and then we were done. And I really loved kind of the behind the scenes look when you go behind the curtain of what's going on. But that was a really fun day of shooting. And
I think you had fun, with your mustache and the
yeah, that was fun for me as well.
poignant moment that was, for the mother watching on and kind of watching you guys squabble and then come back. And that was such a clever scene. And I think you did an amazing job with the direction. It was really, really lovely. So Sujata, thank you so much. This was so good. I'm going to ask the audience who has just seen the movie to join me again and maybe encourage their friends to come on in and watch the film as well. Just such a beautiful film. It's a film worth seeing. Everyone join us, come and watch this film. And Sujata, I do want to say thank you. This was awesome. This is a film that really deserves a second look. It's a beautiful film. It's done so well. And it reflects us. It reflects our kids. It reflects us so well as well. So thank you, Sujata. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having our film. I really appreciate it.
It is the opening film, guys. It's the opening film for the Indian Film Festival. So be there.